Hello and welcome to Technically Analytics. Now we're going to do the NL side of it. So we're going to start with the first team, the Arizona Diamondbacks. So the Diamondbacks went 89-73 last season. They were among the top offensive teams in the league, and their pitching was kind of mid. They did lose some guys. They lost Christian Walker. They lost a bunch of other guys. So let's take a look at their team. So I do like their lineup overall. They did add Josh Naylor in a trade from Cleveland. Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, Josh Naylor, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Eugenio Suarez, Pavin Smith, Jake McCarthy, Gabriel Moreno, Geraldo Perdomo, who they re-signed to a big contract this season. So overall, I do like their lineup. Offensively, I think they can be similar. I mean, I don't know. Without Walker, he was really good. But they did replace him with Naylor, who was also pretty good. 118 weighted runs created plus last season. 776 OPS. I mean, I expect them to be similarly offensively good. And then they have fellow Garrett Hampson, Randall Grichuk, Alec Thomas, Jose Herrera on the bench. Pretty decent bench, I would say. So overall, I do like the lineup, and I think some of these guys are going to come down a bit. Like Pavin Smith, probably not going to hit 142 OPS or weighted runs created plus. Ketel Marte, he had a great season last year. Suarez and all these guys were above average. Naylor, he's going to be good again, I think. Yeah, so like overall, I think I don't know if they're going to repeat this kind of performance where they're second in average, first in on base, second in OPS, first in runs, fifth in home runs. I don't know if they're going to repeat that, but I think they're still going to be probably top 10. And where they're going to improve the most, I think, will be in the pitching department. So in the rotation, they got Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez, and Brandon Pfaadt. They were pretty bad last season, so I do expect them to actually swing back to the mean and become better. Like Burns, he's gonna be good if he could stay healthy, and then Zach Gallen, he was good, but the other guys need to really step it up. Especially Kelly and Rodriguez, they were not so good. And for Pfaadt, he's still a rookie or still young, so first full season, he's going to struggle a little bit, right? And then in their bullpen, they got AJ Puck at the back, Jason Martinez. Again, all these guys have decent, ERAs and stuff, and they're, it's fine. They don't have, a true, closer, but overall, and they still have Jordan Montgomery, who was bad last season, although they might have some injuries. Let's see. Oh yeah, they have Kendall Graveman injured, so he's gonna be. If he can come back, he'll be great in the bullpen too. I think if Montgomery can get it back together, he'd be great in the starting rotation actually. So yeah, overall though, the Diamondbacks, I haven't done any. Let's see, where am I gonna put them? 89 wins last season. I feel like they could. They lost Walker. Who else did they lose? They lost Tucker Barnhart. Jock Peterson. Maybe that's why they were so good. The pitching is going to be better for sure because they had a bad year last year. So let's go for 90-72. Yeah. And we'll see how it shakes out. Next up, we have the Atlanta Braves. Now, I don't like the Braves, so it's going to be interesting to do this. Last year, the Braves went 89-73, and, they had a kind of a mid offense, good at home runs, which they've always been pretty good at that. Their pitching was pretty decent. Overall, their bullpen was really good too, so let's take a look at their lineup. Not much changes. They added Jackson Profar, which is a good add for them. I think he's going to be good. He was good last season, 139 weighted runs created plus. He's probably going to do pretty well in Atlanta as well. They tend to have good offense there. And then the rest of the lineup is pretty much the same guys. I mean, everyone signed for a bunch of years, so it's not going to change ever. They added Drake Baldwin as their catcher, which is interesting. He's a rookie prospect. They're going to need the bottom of the lineup to produce a little bit better, especially Jared Kelenic, Orlando Arcia. These guys have been kind of not the best, right? Like I don't really want this to happen, but if they could be more like Matt Olson, kind of weighted runs created plus 117, let's say 790 OPS, like that would be better, right? That would be better for them. Probably would be more competitive. I mean, they were already pretty competitive, but like it'd be the dominant Atlanta that we're used to seeing. Pretty good bench: Brian De La Cruz, Nick Allen, Chadwick Tromp, Eli White. And then the rotation, it's looking pretty different actually from before. No more. They got rid of pretty much a lot of the old time guys, the guys that won the World Series with them. Max Fried, Tyler Matzik, Luke Jackson, AJ Minter. So all these guys are gone now. And so they still have Chris Sale, who won the Cy Young last year, which I called, by the way. And they have Ronaldo Lopez, Spencer Schwelbeck, Grant Holmes, and Ian Anderson. Yeah, we'll see how this rotation turns out. Chris Sale, obviously great season last year. I would expect him to be good again. I don't know if he's going to be Cy Young good. I mean, and health is always an issue with him. And the rest of the guys, we'll see. Lopez is good. He was really good. Probably will be good again. And then the rest of the guys, we don't know really what's going to happen because they didn't play. That was only the first season. They're all like prospects, so it's tough to call. I'm going to assume that at least 2 or 3 of them will work out fine. But overall, I'm not sure. And they do have injuries. They have Spencer Strider hurt. It looks like he might be coming back, though, soon. So, they also have Acuna Jr. coming back from injury and Sean Murphy. So that will definitely improve their lineup a little bit, especially, getting Kelenic out of there and getting Baldwin out of there. So in their bullpen, it's still really good. I think their bullpen will be better. They just had kind of a down season a little bit. They did add Hector Neris and they did add Angel De Los Santos from the White Sox. So, and they have a few guys. They have, this guy is a no stats. I guess he didn't pitch. But overall, I do. Raisel Iglesias was good last season. So I think the bullpen's going to be decent. Like, it's not going to be the top bullpen in the league, but it's not going to be the bottom bullpen either. So it's hard to predict the NL East, so I don't know where to put Atlanta quite yet. I don't see them improving on this record, but I don't see them being worse either. It's tough. For now, I'm going to keep them at 89 and 73. I might change it, though, based on what I see in the other teams in the division. Because, Mets, Phillies back-to-back, Nationals up and coming. Yeah. So the next team is the Chicago Cubs, who did a lot of offseason moves. The Cubs were 83 and 79. I feel like they were very close last year. Here's their rankings from last season. They were, they were decent and everything. Not great, but not at the bottom necessarily. So here's their lineup, revamped. They added Kyle Tucker. They added John Birdie. And they have Matt Shaw on there too. Overall, I do like their lineup. It's very deep actually, because with Tucker in the lineup, he'll hit you 30 home runs pretty easily. So 180 radar runs created plus, 993 OPS. The guy just matches, right? And then everyone else, they're just gonna need them to be better, basically, to step up a little bit, especially these young guys. Well, not Birdie, but Miguel Amaya, Matt Shaw, Pico Armstrong. He's shown that he is a great glove. I think Swanson he could be better. He's probably going to be better. And then Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki, they're going to be good still, I think. So overall, I do like their offense. They have a great bench as well. Justin Turner, Carson Kelly. So, and then I also love their rotation and their bullpen. Shota Iyamaga, Justin Steele, Jameson Tyone, Matthew Boyd from Cleveland, and Colin Ray from Milwaukee. I expect this rotation to be really good, honestly, because if you look at their ERAs, they were pretty good last year, and I'm kind of expecting the same. And then in their bullpen, again, they were the front of the bullpen not as good as the back, but they added Ryan Presley, they added Ryan Brazier. They added Caleb Thebar, and they added Brad Keller, so I do like that. Any injuries? Oh, Nico Horner and Javier Assad are injured, so we'll see if they come back. That makes the roundup a bit better, especially for Horner. He's a great infield defensive guy and okay hitter too. And Assad was a pretty good pitcher last year, so we'll see. But yeah, I do really like Presley at the back. That's a legit closer back there. And if they could get the other guys to, especially Pearson, Keller, and Thebar to be a little bit better, I think the Cubs have a great chance at competing with the Brewers for the division. So yeah, I'm actually going to put their win total at... I don't know if it's going to be 90, but I kind of want to say 90, honestly. I'm feeling 90 wins for them. Now, next team up is the Cincinnati Reds. So the Reds have had a pretty interesting offseason as well. They went 77 and 85. You can see their rankings here. They were okay in most categories. Not amazing, but not like terrible. Well, offense was kind of bad, but let's see what they've done. You can see who they lost here. So they have TJ Friedel, Matt McClain, Ellie De La Cruz still, Austin Hayes, James Candelario, Gavin Lux, Christian Encarnacion Strand, Drake Fraley, Jose Trevino. Overall, not a bad lineup. Offensively, I don't know how good it's going to be. Cruz, obviously really good. Only 118 radar runs created plus, though, so he's going to need to be a little bit better to really carry the team. They did add Gavin Lux, and they added Trevino, so I like those adds, but again, Strand, he didn't play a lot last season, only 123 plate appearances, so we'll see how that goes for them. If he could be good, then I mean, this team has potential for sure. It's potentially a great lineup, but we'll see. And then I like their bench. Santiago Espinal, pretty good hitter usually when he was with the Blue Jays. And everyone else is, they're fine. Like, it's not bad. And then their pitching, it's kind of like it can be good. There's some... They obviously traded for Brady Singer, who was good with the Royals last season. And they have Hunter Green still, who seems to be really developing into a nice ace starting pitcher. Nicolito can be good, but he struggled last year. Nick Martinez and Andrew Abbott were good last season. So they need Lodolo and to basically step up, and they need Singer to be good again, and Hunter Green to keep doing it. And any injuries? Tyler Stevenson, Spencer Steer. Okay, well, those guys will be. Looks like Stevenson might be out for a while. Steer could be back soon though. In their bullpen, it was pretty, like, the rankings kind of show it was pretty average. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like amazing. So Alexis Diaz at the back. he didn't have his best season, but pretty good. Taylor Rogers, he was good. He's going to be good, I think. Good setup, man. He could even be a closer, too. Emilio Pagan, he could have a better season, I think. And the rest of the guys, like, we'll see. Graham Ashcraft, he's a great prospect. He could be good, too, if he can find it. Like, I see potential in this team, but I don't know. Like, 77. Do I see them winning more? It's really hard because they're offensively, like, I don't know what they got here. Like, there's some guys here, like Ellie De La Cruz, obviously really good, not a problem. Matt McLean, I don't know anything about him, but I think their second baseman is injured right now, so yeah, we'll see. So in 2023 he did 127. Okay, he's pretty good. Never mind. All right. So let's do I think they're going to be behind the Cubs. I did this mistake last year. I had the Reds above the Cardinals, and I was totally wrong about that. I'm just going to give them... I guess I'm going to do... I'm going to do 82 and... Oh, that's 500. Yeah. No, yeah, I'm going to do 500. Or no. Yeah, I'm just going to do 500 for them, I think, because for me, it's like, I don't know that they're going to be, like, I think they're going to be better than they were last season by a little bit, but I also don't see them being, like, you know, with the Cubs and Brewers, right? Like, I don't think they're going to be that good. So, the next team, one of my favorite teams to talk about, the Colorado Rockies, who somehow have great attendance but bad record, 61 and 101. Here's their rankings at the bottom of almost every category in the NL. The Rockies are a funny team. So they did add somebody, actually. You might think, oh, what did the Rockies do this offseason? Probably wouldn't even know. Thairo Estrada. They added him. I mean, he's okay at defense, not great offensively. I made a joke about their home runs in this team. Like, who's going to hit the home runs? Like, I mean, besides the top few guys, Estrada only hit 9. But overall, though, jokes aside, like, the Rockies lineup, they have some depth to it, I guess. Like, the catcher's pretty good. Jacob Song is a pretty good hitter, 114 rated runs created plus. So, like, I don't hate it, but Michael Toglia is coming along, I think. Ezequiel Tovar has been good. He has a good glove, at least. Chris Bryant needs to do something. Please, Chris Bryant, do something. 70 rated runs created plus, 623 OPS. Like, that's the problem with the Rockies, right? Underperforming hitters. Doyle, McMahon, like, these guys all need to be... The whole team just needs to hit better. Like, they have some promising guys in this team. They just need to perform. And they have a pretty good bench. Kyle Farmer, Sam Hilliard, Hunter Goodman. Actually, Hunter Goodman, maybe not. But Kyle Farmer and Sam Hilliard are good. And then their rotation is pretty much unchanged from last season. They have... Is someone hurt? Gomber's hurt. Okay. That sucks, but they have a rookie in there right now. But with Gomber, I do like the rotation. I mean, it's gonna perform kind of mid because it's a Coolers effect, of course. Like, you would think the Coolers effect would help their hitting because they would be better at hitting. You know, home runs would fly further, balls would fly further in the thin air. But for some reason, the Rockies don't take advantage of that, and they don't get ground ball pitchers either, which is weird to me. But I feel like for the Rockies, the rotation, I mean, these are used to pitching at Coolers Field, so I think they'll be fine. You know, you can't look at the ERAs because it's not applicable there, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. They didn't really make any moves. And then their bullpen, they did change it a little bit. They have some good young guys in there, actually. that they put in last season, looks like. Tyler Kinley at the back. I mean, they have Scott Alexander from Oakland, Diego Castillo, Jimmy Herget. If these guys can be good, then I think the Rockies can maybe improve a little bit. I don't see them being loads better than they were last season, because they just didn't make any moves really that are gonna move the needle much. Yeah, so we're gonna go. They were 61, so I'll go 65. Sorry, Rockies fans. So 65. So 65, 97. 65 and 97, yeah. Wow. They're really cranking it up. So the next team is the LA Dodgers. So the Dodgers went 98 and 64, which was the best record in MLB last season. They lost Jack Flaherty, Walker Buehler, a few other guys, but they have one of the better offenses in the league, and their pitching was kind of hurt. Bullpen was okay. So let's look at their lineup. They obviously added Michael Conforto, who I do like. Pretty good hitter, pretty good at defense as well in right field, or actually left field in this case. And they brought back Tasker Hernandez, which was a good decision, I think, on their part. They still have Shohei Ohtani, who's going to be pitching this season. Obviously, their lineup is going to be tops again. I don't expect them to have any dip in any kind of performance there. It might even be better. Their bench is great. Miguel Rojas, Chris Taylor, Enrique Hernandez, all super utility guys, can play anywhere, so they're fine. And then we have in the rotation, they added Roki Saki and they added Blake Snell, so they have a lot of depth with Ohtani, and they have a bunch of pitchers here. Right here, you can see Kershaw, Hurt, Gonsolin, Ryan, Sheehan, Gavin Stone, and the bullpen guys, Gatterall, Grove, Henriquez, Kopech, Evan Phillips. These guys are all hurt, and they could be back at some point because they were hurt, last season. I think they're going to be fine because they still have Ohtani, who's going to be pitching the season, so they have one of the best rotations in the league, basically. I mean, there's nothing to really talk about, honestly, with them. It's just they have a great team. If they can stay healthy, they're going to win 100 games pretty easily, I think. This is an easy one. They added Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates. They still have all these guys, plus the guys that are hurt. These guys were all really good last season. So yeah, they're going to be good. I think I don't need to talk too much about this one because look at their team. They're stacked. I mean, look at their radar runs created plus. Look at their OPSs. They're all amazing. 130 for the 181, 141, 137, 134, 135, top 5 guys. That's crazy. So, yeah, we're going to give them 100 wins. Probably the only team. Very satisfying. 162. So, pretty easy math there. Didn't need to calculate for that one. Next, we have the Marlins, Miami Marlins. So, the Marlins didn't make any moves this season. This offseason, they didn't make any. Well, they did do some trades, but okay, they made a couple moves, minor ones, but no major moves for them at all. Some minor ones that don't really, matter all that much. Some bench players. So they added Matt Mervis in a trade from the Cubs. This is their lineup. I think they're going to be kind of bad, honestly. It's not the worst, but see, the problem is not a lot of plate appearances for these guys, so it's not great. But yeah, I don't know. almost none of these guys are household names, I think. So, yeah, I'm not loving the Marlins team offensively. I mean, last year they were kind of in the bottom-ish. Don't expect them to get much higher than that. And then I think the best part of their team is their pitching, honestly, the rotation. Sandy Alcantara is back. Weathers, Cabrera, Meyer, Alcantara. I mean, all these guys could be good. They're going to have bounce-back seasons, I think, especially Alcantara and Cabrera. And I think Weathers and Alcantara are going to be good. So, yeah. And then for their bullpen, I mean, I expect them to be decent. That's what I'll say. Like, I don't know. Anthony Bender he was pretty bad last year, but he should be good. And then I think that they have some injuries. So, yeah, Braxton Garrett and Yuri Perez are out. They'll be back soon, I assume, probably mid-season. So, yeah, like, for the Marlins, I think they improve maybe. Actually, I don't know. Their offense might be bad. So, maybe not. I'm going to go, for the memes, I'm going to go 62 and 100 again. It's unlikely, but I think it's funny that the Dodgers are the best team and they're like one of the worst. I mean, not worse than the White Sox, but I think they're competing. And next we have the Miami Marlins, or not the Marlins. We just did the Marlins. We have the Brewers, the Milwaukee Brewers, sorry. 93 and 69 last year. Here's their rankings, right? So they were pretty decent offensively. Starting pitching struggled. Bullpen was pretty good, but they did lose Devin Williams. So here's their lineup. It hasn't really changed. I mean, I do like their lineup. It's really good. Like, Christian Yelich really did it. Wilson Contreras really did it. I mean, if these guys can have repeat of that kind of seasons, if they can put up similar offensive numbers or better, I really like this lineup. It is good. Rhys Hoskins, he was average for them, but still pretty good. Joey Ortiz, he needs to be moved up in the lineup, I think. Move up in the lineup a little bit. Oliver Dunn, I'm curious to see what he's going to do. Only 1 year. I mean, he did pretty good. He only had a cup of coffee, it looks like. But, yeah, and then their bench, they have Mark Canha on the bench. I do like that. And for their starting rotation, they got Freddie Peralta, Nestor Cortez, Aaron Savelli, Jose Quintana, Tyler Alexander. So not the same pitching kind of powerhouse that it used to be with Woodruff. And I think Woodruff he's hurt. Oh, everyone's hurt. That's why it's not what it used to be. DL Hall is hurt. Wow, all the good guys are hurt. So they're gonna be back soon, or not really. So they might be in trouble pitching wise, but at the back of the rotation, or at the back of their bullpen, they have Trevor McGill, and Jared Koenig, Joel Pamps, Brian Hudson. I mean, the back end looks good, but on the front end, kind of like I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I feel like with the same lineup and they're pretty good offensively, they can probably overcome the weak starting pitching again. And they did win the division last year. I'm gonna give them, what did I give the Cubs? 90. I'm gonna give the Cubs the edge here. I'm gonna give them 89 and 93. I think I'm worried about their starting pitching. And the next team is, I'm worried about their starting pitching is what I'm really worried about there. And I'm worried that they might swing back to the mean a little bit. So next team we have is the New York Mets. So the Mets, my favorite team, went 89 and 73, same as the Braves. Here was the rankings. They were pretty decent offensively, especially after May. And then pitching wise, they were okay. Like it was good enough. Their bullpen was pretty scary a lot of the time, but here's how their lineup's looking. So they added Juan Soto. They added Jose Siri. They brought back Jesse Winker, which I think they had the perfect offseason in terms of offensively. Like, I mean, with Soto, I expect their offense to be in the top of everything. 180 rated runs created plus 989 OPS. And, you know, they brought back Alonso. So, yeah, I really love their lineup. It's very deep, down to 6, 7 even, I would say. Siri can be good. And we'll see what Brett Brady will bring. Mark Vientos is going to need to bring the same kind of offensive power he had before. And then on their bench, they have Hayden Singer, Luis Angel Acuna, Starling Marte, and Tyrone Taylor. Strong bench. These guys were all good for us last year, so not really worried about them. And then pitching-wise, I'm a little bit worried because injuries have been kind of... A lot of guys are out, actually. Francisco Alvarez, Nick Madrigal. He's out for the season. Ronnie Mauricio, Jeff McNeil's been hurt. Sean Manaea is hurt. Frankie Montas is hurt. Christian Scott is hurt. Drew Smith is hurt. So, yeah, it's a lot of injuries. So, looking at the rotation with the injuries, it's like it could be better, I think. David Peterson seems to have turned the corner last year. Kodai Senga is good if he can stay healthy. Clay Holmes has looked amazing in spring, so we'll see how that goes. Griffin Canning, I don't know what we're going to get with him, but hopefully some of these guys can get back healthy. Manaea and Montas and Scott, and it'll be fine. And in the bullpen, we have the best closer in the game, in my opinion, Edwin Diaz. AJ Minter, which I do like that acquisition. Jose Budo, he was really good for us last year. Reed Garrett, Ryan Stanek, he wasn't as good, but I think he's going to be fine. And we have Paul Blackburn in long relief / another starting. We have a lot of starting pitching depth, which is good. So for the Mets, my favorite team, we're gonna go. Honestly, I'm gonna probably regret doing this, but yeah, gonna go 90. Just one game above. And next we get to do the Phillies. So the Philadelphia Phillies, got another rival. It's always hard to do rivals because I can't judge it without bias, you know. It's hard to keep my bias in here. So they were really good offensively, pretty good relief, or starting pitchers rather, and pretty good relief, I would say. Yeah, decent relief, not great, but really good offensively. So they added Max Kepler in left field. Who'd they lose? Anybody that crazy? Nah, not really. So yeah, they added Max Kepler, which I do like that addition. He was a little bit below average last season, but I think he can be better. And their lineup is looking pretty much the same. I mean, overall, I think I'm not worried about them offensively. I think they're gonna repeat the same sort of thing offensively, and it's like, you know, it's not bad. Like Trey Turner, I mean, I feel like Trey Turner had like a quiet year last year, but he was actually pretty good. And, you know, Bryce Harper is Bryce Harper. He's going to be him. He's going to be good. And on their bench, you know, not like, it's a good bench. Edmund Sosa is pretty good. Cody Clemens has proven to be pretty good. So let's go to the rotation, which I think, even though their offense was pretty good for the most part, and, you know, they didn't make much changes to it, but I think their starting rotation is one of the better parts of their team, actually, too. Zach Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, Aaron Nola, Ranger Suarez, Jesus Luzardo. So, and they recently acquired Luzardo, so he's a great addition to the rotation, I think. Anyone hurt? Not really. So in their bullpen, we have Jordan Romano at the back. They just added him from Toronto, and they added Joe Ross from Milwaukee. So overall, Alvarado's still there doing it. He's going to be better, I think, than last season. He had some had some problems last season, but I think he's going to be better. And they have Taiwan Walker as a long relief guy slash depth pitcher. So overall, I do unfortunately like their team, but I hate their team. So yeah, it's a tough one. I'm going to do what I usually do. I'm just going to put them right with the Braves because it's so hard to predict this division, because the thing is, any of these three teams could be in any given order. Like it could be Mets, Braves, Phillies. It could be Phillies, Braves, Mets, Braves, Phillies, Mets, Phillies, Braves, Mets, Phillies, Mets, Braves. Like it could be any combination of that order, and I just don't know which one is going to be. It's so hard to know. So next we have the Pittsburgh Pirates. So the Pirates overall were not that good last season, 76 and 86. They were mostly in the bottom of most rankings, offensively, pitching wise, bullpen. They did make some changes. They added Tommy Pham, which, I like that. He's a good offensive player. I mean, not the best, but. And then they added DJ Stewart from the Mets. Again, Stewart is good, but he does strike out a lot. You can see 24.7. I mean, in terms of everyone else on the Pirates, maybe not as much, but he does strike out some. And, he's prone to streaks. I do love O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds. I mean, I think if O'Neal Cruz can be a little bit better, if he can be like he's such a good player. He has so many tools. He's fast. He can hit. He can throw like 1,000,000 miles an hour, and he can hit really well sometimes. If he can do that more often, I think the Pirates could actually have a decent offensive lineup. I think they can improve on these numbers here, these rankings. And then on their bench, they have an okay bench. Adam Frazier, Andy Rodriguez. But, of course, the best part of their team is not their offense. It's their pitching. And it's led by Paul Skeens, Cy Young winner, Mitch Keller, Jared Jones, Andrew Heaney, Bailey Falter. So, Skeens obviously is great. I think he's going to be... Or, was he a Cy Young? No. I think he was close to Cy Young. He was like... He had like two... He was like in second place. Right, because Sale won it. He was in second place. He's probably going to win Cy Young, though, this year. I do like their rotation, even though it didn't perform as well as it could have, I think. So I might expect these guys to swing back to the mean. I would hope, at least. I mean, it is the Pirates. I don't know if their offense is going to be good enough to support these guys, but yeah, we'll see. And then... So their bullpen, I do like their bullpen. They did add Caleb Ferguson, Justin Lawrence, and Tim Miza. And they have injuries, not a few, but not really. So overall, their bullpen, it could be better. Bednar needs to have a good a bounce back season. He wasn't very good last year. And Holderman, he was decent. Santana was okay. So was Madinsky. But we'll see what the additions can do. They all didn't have great seasons last season, but we'll see. I mean, sometimes when guys have a bad season, they swing back and have a great season. That's how baseball usually works. So I'm going to be optimistic here and put the Pirates at like maybe 77 and 85. Yeah. I don't know. I don't see them winning more games. So next up, the Padres, the San Diego Padres, who another team that didn't make a lot of moves. They signed a few guys. So this is their lineup. It's pretty much the same. They signed Jose Iglesias from the Mets, and they signed Jason Hayward. And overall, Iglesias was really good for the Mets last season, obviously. Hayward, more of a defensive guy. He used to have... He was good offensively, a few years ago, but I think he's been kind of not as good. Might be wrong with that. Oh no, he did okay for the Dodgers, 120. In 2023 he did okay, but his best season was with the Cubs. Looks like 131 rated run created plus, and they still have Bogarts, they still have Machado, they still have Fernando Tatis, Luis Ariz. Like overall, I do like their lineup. So if their lineup can hit well, then I think they'll be okay. They still have Connor Joe on their bench, which I like. And we'll see what the rotation can do, because the rotation kind of, in some ways, underperformed, but they still have Dylan Cease, Michael King, Yu Darvish. These guys are all going to be good still, I think. And it'll just be up to whether Nick Pivetta and Steven Kolek perform well, and if they get some guys back from injury, Joe Musgrove and Matt Waldron, although Waldron looks like he might be out for a while. He's pretty good, Waldron, knuckleballer. And then they have a lot of injuries, actually, in their bullpen. So, yeah, overall, I like their starting rotation, but with the injuries, hopefully some guys come back and they can be better. And then they have, in their bullpen, Robert Suarez at the back, Jason Adam, setup man. And the rest of it is, they were all pretty decent. They have a pretty decent bullpen. If you look at the rankings, hitting wise, they were actually really good on average because of this man right here, Ariz. But everywhere else, kind of, still in the top 10 or around the top 10. And pitching was pretty good. They were a pretty good team, and they did win 93 games last season. So I'm expecting a similar performance from them. Hopefully they can stay healthy. Although they didn't add many guys, but I am expecting a similar performance. Yeah, if they can stay healthy, I would say I give the Dodgers 100, so I'm going to go the same. Yeah, I'm going to go the same. I know that's kind of boring, but I don't think they win more. I think they win just as many. Actually, you know what? No. I'm going to change my mind there. I'm going to go less. I'm going to go 91 and 71. 91 and 71. Right behind the Dodgers. So next we have the Giants, San Francisco Giants, who went 80 and 82. They were pretty mid for most of the season, I would say. They lost quite a few guys as well. So I don't know how the Giants are going to do, really. Let's see. So their lineup, they did add Willie Adames from Milwaukee, and they still have Jung-Hoo Lee, who was hurt last season. I'm expecting him to be really good. Matt Chapman. Overall, their lineup's pretty deep, actually. I think if Mike Yurzinski, Wilmer Flores, Patrick Bailey, if these guys can be a lot better, they're gonna be okay. I feel like, because this is a good lineup. I do like it, and their bench is it's okay. Overall, though, losing Conforto does hurt a lot. They're just gonna need to play a lot better. It's not like all these guys have terrible way to run creative plus, but just not good enough, right? And then they did improve their rotation a little bit. They added Justin Verlander. They're gonna need their starting pitchers to pitch a lot better than they did last season. I think that was their struggle last season, is their pitching just wasn't very good at all, and neither was their offense, and they just didn't put it all together very good. So yeah, Verlander does help them a little bit. He wasn't that great with the Astros last year, but again, if they can stay healthy and if they can pitch well, then I can see the Giants maybe winning more than 80 games again, maybe. And then their bullpen, and they don't have any injuries either. See, this is only one injury, just a catcher. And in their bullpen, they have Duvall, Rogers, Walker. Great back end of the bullpen. And they were decent last year, especially Rogers and Walker, but Duvall struggled a bit. I expect him to bounce back. Eric Miller, their mid relief guys were pretty good too, and then they added Lou Trevino from the Yankees. We'll see what he does. And the front end not great. So for the Giants, it's tough because it's a tough division. I want to be optimistic, so I'm gonna go for. I think I'm gonna go for 83. Yeah, 83 and whatever that is. So 83. So 162. All right, 79. Yeah, 83 and 79. All right, 2 teams left. So let's do the St. Louis Cardinals. So the Cardinals went 83 and 79 last season. Here's their rankings. They were pretty middle of the road in pretty much everything. They didn't do a whole lot this offseason. Kind of the same lineup they rolled out last year, which, it wasn't bad, honestly. Like, I think Arenado needs to have a better season, and I think Jordan Walker needs to have a better season. Victor Scott could be better. But overall, they didn't add anybody, which, not great. Their bench, it's okay. And then in the rotation, they're going to need better performances from Mats, especially. And Palante was good. Mikolas, he's going to need to be a lot better. Sonny Gray, obviously, ace. He's, you know what to expect from him. And then they only have one pitcher hurt, so that's good. And then in their bullpen, again, I want to like the rotation, but it's kind of not the greatest. And in their bullpen, they have Ryan Helsley at the back, Matthew Liberatore, Brian Fernandez, Jojo Ramirez. Their bullpen was pretty good, except for the front guys, the long relief, and one of the mid relievers. But other than that, their bullpen was very decent last year. So I'm Phil Maton from the Mets. I don't mind. He's pretty good. He can be good. He can also be bad, but So yeah, overall for the Cardinals, it's kind of tough because I don't know. Last year I expected them to be kind of bad, and they were way better. So where did I put the Reds? Right, 81. I think I'm gonna put them just above. Gonna put them at 82 and 80. Just because I want to be optimistic, right? And then the very last team is going to be the Washington Nationals, who went 71 and 91, fourth in the NL East. They were number 1 in stolen bases, actually, which is impressive. Kind of not great at anything else. So let's see. What is their lineup looking like? So they have James Wood, which he's supposed to be really good, and he was okay in 336 plate appearances, 120 weighted earned credit plus, 781 OPS. CJ Abrams, Dylan Cruz, he's going to need to be better. Now, they did add Nathaniel Lowe and Josh Bell, who Bell's been on the team before. Wasn't great with Arizona, but he can be good. He can hit some home runs. Nathaniel Lowe, they added from Texas, which was an interesting trade. Traded a reliever for him. We'll see. Hopefully Lowe can perform well. He does bring a bit of pop to their lineup. Luis Garcia has been okay. Gabriel Ruiz, Paul DeYoung, Jacob Young. I like the top of their lineup. I think they have some potential there for sure. It's just it's potential though. It's not, And then their bench, it's all right. And then the rotation, I kind of like it, actually. There's not a lot of... They didn't perform that well, although Trevor Williams was really good, which I'm not surprised by. Mackenzie Gore, though, he's been really good. Hopefully he'll have a bounce-back season. 390 is not bad. That's not bad, but he could be better, I think. And, Trevor Williams I love him. Michael Soroka is an interesting one. If he can be healthy and pitch, I think he can be really good. I don't know much about Mitchell Parker or Jake Irvin. Oh, Jake Irvin he's okay. They're going to need to have good seasons, though, in order for this Nationals team to compete in the NL East. I mean, that's the problem, right? Overall, I like the potential, but the NL East is just such a tough division. And then maybe the best part of their team is Josiah Gray's hurt, which is not great, but best part of their team might be their bullpen, actually, which probably surprising. Kyle Finnegan at the back, Jorge Lopez, Derek Law, Jose A. Ferrer, Lucas Sims, Colin Poche. These guys did pretty decent last year, so I'm expecting their bullpen to be decent. I mean, not top, but definitely decent enough. I think the Nationals can improve on their win total. It's going to be tough. I think they're going to improve, though. I'm going to go 75 and whatever that is. I'm going to go 75 wins and 87 losses. And that's going to do it for my predictions for the 2025 MLB season. I will do another video at the end of after the end of the season, and I'll reveal if I was right or wrong, which, given recent history, I'll be wrong. Make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment on what your predictions are or what you think about mine, and I'll see you next time.